On Tuesday, December 7th, the Glass Bead Collective received word that a pro-REDD conference would be happening at the JW Marriott Hotel in Cancun. This conference, directly related to the COP16 negotiations happening at the Moon Palace, would include some of the world's biggest leaders and businessmen, such as the President of the World Bank, the UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon, and the CEO of the Wal-Mart Corporation. The REDD Act, or Reduction of Emissions from Deforestation and Degradation, has been heavily criticized by indigenous peoples as being a push to privatize forests and other natural resources. No indigenous or peasant people were represented. Despite being kept relatively secret, a handful of protesters and journalists found out. However, we were prevented from entering and were soon apprehended by the police.
So what's going on here?
We've been told that we absolutely have the right to express ourselves and express our point of view.
But not here.
But not here.
And what happened earlier with you guys on the street?
Earlier we were sitting over there, sitting at a bus stop, when we were surrounded by 2 cars and around 8 police officers who were asking what we were doing there. And that they would take us away. For some reason we said we were waiting for a bus, and eventually they left us alone.
So why is this happening? What's going on right here, right now?
Right now they're trying to take us away, basically, and our 2 friends over here are trying to express to them that all we're doing is putting our point of view across and nothing more. And they're asking if, the last thing I heard is asking if there is a law that prohibits us expressing ourselves in the touristic zone. I didn't catch the answer, but I suspect the answer is no. That's what I'm thinking.
And what are you guys protesting here in the JW Marriott?
Basically, there's a pro-REDD meeting going on right in there with huge delegates. The president of the World Bank is in there speaking, the CEO of Wal-Mart is speaking, and we just want to make a voice heard against REDD.
So what does the CEO of Wal-Mart have to do with environmentalism?
Nothing. It just totally shows how business-minded they are in there, and they don't give a shit about the climate or anything.
So the head of this country, the CEO of Wal-Mart,
yes,
and all the world's businessmen are gathered there talking about environmentalism?
And there's absolutely no indigenous representation in this meeting. This is a meeting of the big guys, the big bosses, with the big money, and the people it's going to affect, the indigenous people, are not represented. And I'm still worried. We were told to put away our sign there, and I'm worried that we might still get arrested here.
I think that people have their rights in a public space. They have the right to express their opinions. There are many people who need to know that this REDD Accord is not necessarily the best for the people and for those who are, really, the children of the earth and world. So we must continue moving forward. But there's no point in arguing with the cops. No, excuse me. What Article 14 says is that tourists cannot express opinions against the Mexican political system. What we're doing has nothing to do with the internal political system of Mexico, since this is an international meeting. All we're doing is bringing out a sign and a banner to express our opinions. The IEN, or Indigenous Environmental Network, has warned that REDD will reduce forest to carbon stocks, disregarding their value for biodiversity and rural livelihoods. Tom Goldtooth, the executive director of the Indigenous Environmental Network, said, "Yes, we need to stop rampant deforestation, but REDD will neither protect forests nor reduce dangerous pollution. REDD will allow polluting industries to avoid reducing emissions through offsets from trees and other so-called environmental services." From an indigenous and human rights perspective, REDD could criminalize the very peoples who protect and rely on forests for their livelihood, with no guarantees for enforceable safeguards. REDD is promoting what could be the biggest land grab of all time. REDD poses the greatest threats to countries with large forests and large indigenous populations, such as Brazil, which has already agreed to sign on to REDD Ready projects. From COP16 in Cancun and with the Cascade Climate Network, this is Adrian Guerrero.